Let's walk through some free patterns to try in February. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and today we are doing another free pattern video. I have a Pinterest board that has free patterns each month, and today for February, we have 6 different patterns, with one being a last minute Valentine's Day gift, then we have some St. Patrick's Day, and then some home goods. Now the link to this board is available in the description of this video, so be sure to check that out. So the first we're going to start off with is this idea for a very quick Valentine's Day gift. I know it looks Christmassy, this is for a gift card holder, but I think you could make these and really put little Valentines in them as well, and it looks really simple and easy to do. So if you go to the site that has this pattern, you'll see that she kind of walks you through the general idea of what this would be, how it's a great scrap buster, and really shows you different angles of what the product would look like. And then she does have everything listed for how you would put this together. So you can use scrap fabrics. I think if you used a lot of different Valentine's Day fabrics, it could look really fun. So pinks and reds and hearts. And then she has the instructions for how you can sew this up. It looks very easy. It looks like a really great beginner friendly project. And then of course, I think you could just put little Valentines in there. You could put little candies in there. So this could be something really great to whip out, especially if you need a little gift quickly to give to somebody, and then they could reuse this for other gift cards in the future. So now let's move on to our next free pattern, and I did find a free clothing one for this month, and that was this DIY patchwork skirt. Now what I really like about this pattern is it does not need to be a patchwork theme. She just provides you all of the steps in case you'd like to make it patchwork and you already had this on hand, but she does show you how much fabric you will need for the outside of the fabric, and then if you had some sort of lightweight for the batting, and then how much you would need for the bias tape all around. So all of the items that you will need she includes. I think if you didn't have like patchwork material, you could definitely go to a thrift store, maybe look at different blankets that they have, or see if there's any old quilts there. Another really fun way to kind of upcycle quilts. And then she talks through how you actually make the skirt itself. So this seemed really straightforward. She has a lot of really great pictures that show you step by step on how to make it. And then you get this really fun looking wrap skirt at the end, which I think would be perfect, especially for the upcoming spring season. You can make this in so many different colors, and they're going to be really fast to put together as well, and you'll have new pieces to add to your wardrobe. So now we'll move on to our next project, which is actually how to sew napkins. So I thought that this was really fun because you could definitely use these around your house. It would be a really nice way to kind of go green in another sense instead of using paper napkins. But she talks about how you can make these mitered corners. And I think that that can look really nice, whether it's on napkins, whether it's on quilts, whether it's on like a handkerchief. But she walks through step by step on how you can put these together. There's even a video for how to put them together as well, in case you're somebody who likes to watch as well as see like a blog post. She has both available, and then she walks you through what type of materials you can use and then how you finish off the edges of the napkin, which is probably the most important part. So as you scroll down, you will get to the instructions specifically for how much fabric you're going to need, the length of time, all the materials, and then the tools that she used. So she does provide a lot of really great images to show you how she's cutting it out, how she's marking everything. To get those really precise corners, those miter corners, you do have to do a lot of measurements, and she really walks you through how you're going to be marking those, how you're going to be keeping track of it. So it's really helpful, and then you can see how she's sewing it together so that you can get that really nice finish on your napkins. So I think that this could be a really great way to test out doing mitered corners if that's something of interest to you, and then you can have a really fun little home decor item to sit in your kitchen or dining room that you could use later on. So if you're looking for that, be sure to check out this pattern. So now we will move over to some of our St. Patrick's Day themed items. So I know that I love St. Patrick's Day just because of the greens. Green is one of my favorite colors. So the first is this scrappy shamrock. So I think this could be great, especially if you have a lot of green materials on hand. It is part of a website that you do need to scroll down. There's other free patterns. I did not look through these, but if you scroll down, you will be able to get to the pattern itself. So you're just going to click this, and then you will be taken to the website. Basically, this is just a mini quilt that then she is sewing together and stuffing, and she even added, like, she attached it to some candy bars in case you want to use it as little gifts, which I think could be really cute. But she has all the instructions, talks about how you would make the mini quilt, how you would go about then stuffing it, and what you can do with it after. So a really fun way to use up scraps, especially if you made a St. Patrick's Day quilt and you're trying to figure out what to do with all of your scrap fabrics now. You could definitely whip up a couple of these and give them out to gifts for friends and family. So now we'll move into the actual quilting ideas. So I found two different ones when I was looking up a new quilt to make for this month. The first is this sort of lucky shamrock looking one. I will say that my family and I were trying to determine if we think this actually looks like shamrocks. But I think it is a really fun quilt idea and wanted to share it. It also looks like it comes together very, very quickly. So she walks you through step by step of how you would cut out your material and how you would piece this together and the amount of fabric you would need for each of these blocks. And so I think that that's really helpful and a great way to learn how to build these blocks together. And then once you kind of have those four pieces, you then arrange them into that pinwheel shape, and then you sew it up, and then you have all of your blocks, and then you can sew those together too. What I also really liked about this is then she kind of showed different ways that you could kind of turn this on a diagonal. You could add borders to it, so a lot of different ways that you could use up this quilt and to have it be more unique and your own. The second quilt pattern I found, though, I feel like this one is much more St. Patrick's Day, and it is just a quilt block, and then you can expand upon it as you would like, but it is a shamrock. I think this shamrock looks much more like the St. Patrick's Day shamrock that we're used to. And I will say that I'll have another video on how I put this together and the steps that I did for it, as I did follow their instructions and I'm turning this into a larger quilt. So be sure to look for that in a couple of weeks. But the instructions for this were incredibly straightforward and really simple to follow, and you get a really fun looking shamrock at the end. So I would highly recommend it if you're looking for a shamrock pattern this March. And then you can make some where they either have a stem or they don't have a stem, so that's a really fun option too, if you want it to be a 3-leaf clover or a 4-leaf clover. So let me know which one of these patterns you're most excited to try out. I think that mine's definitely the shamrock quilt, as I've already started working on it. The link to this Pinterest board is in the description, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.